Hello and thanks for checking out this highlight from the Crystal Core Radio podcast. If you want to check out the full podcast, be sure to hit the top link in the description of this video for even more awesome content. But enjoy the show. When did you start with Final Fantasy XIV? So you just woke up one day and you decided to pull the trigger, and so what drew you originally to? I mean, outside the MMOs and that social grindy aspect, why 14?
I actually am what you would probably consider a WoW refugee.
Okay.
I played World of Warcraft, but I was a filthy casual, so I can't. I was one of those who played a lot of alts, and I never completed anything, never raided. I liked the grindy part. I was really weird.
No, I think you and we relate to on that level a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I can, especially as an adult, especially from like you and I both have kids, you and I both married. It's
that was the big part.
Just like I can chip away a little bit every, at a day and feel good about it.
And I could play well with my husband because he was a hardcore player for years until adulthood hit. So we could play the game together, and we played with my brother-in-law. Then we got into Destiny together because it was very similar. It had a grindy feel. It was a little more casual, I felt, even though we actually raided in Destiny. Okay. So that was different. But then Destiny fell off for us. It kind of started to feel lacking, I guess. I think quite a few people had that happen. It was right before the Cade story came out.
Forsaken.
I'm trying to remember.
Destiny 2 was a hard time.
It was. That was what it was. It was something like I wanted to stick with it. I did. And then finally we both just looked at each other and we're like, we're not enjoying this. And then our friends dropped off. So like our group was gone. There was a lot of things. And so then I was like, babe, BFA is coming out. Like, let's get back into WoW. Let's go. Let's be PC gamers again. And he was all for it. So we got our new PCs and we got BFA. We got into BFA, and then BFA just was a flop for me.
Oh yeah.
We just found ourselves logging in less and less, and it wasn't as good. And so then oh
man, that seems like the story. So it was BFA.
That's what happened to everybody. Right.
Oh,
you had your necklace and like you have your trying. It was what it was. But my brother-in-law is like, he's a gamer, and he never lets his subs go out for anything. And he has played 14 since the beginning. And he was like, you guys should play 14 with me. Okay. And me and my husband's like, what? And we're like, no, we don't know if we want to do another MMO. Like, what? And me knowing nothing, okay, Brian, this is how Final Fantasy noob I am, okay? I looked at my brother-in-law and was like, I can't play Final Fantasy 14. I haven't played the others. Like, I thought it was one continuous story.
It's so fascinating because that's also a common thing. It's like, do you need to play all of these other versions? And then ideally,
He looked at me and he was like, you don't have to play. They're all their own story. I was like, what? Like, he just dropped a bomb on me.
Oh, yeah?
And then he said free trial. And we were like, oh, what do we have to lose?
Nothing. You got nothing to lose.
Oh, yeah. So we signed up for the free trial because we were like, all right, like, we got nothing else going on. And I'm the type of player, like, I'm not like, let me buy the newest release and play that. That's never been my style. I'm very much I want something that I can sink my time into, and I can just like go for it, which is why I like the MMO thing. You go, knowing that there's always going to be something more to achieve, knowing that there's going to be new content for you to go out and try to get with this one character and this one time. You know what I mean? Like, it's just always progressing. So I really enjoy that. I've never been one to fall into this looks fun, play it, beat it, done, So not having WoW was kind of sad. So I was like, yeah, let's play 14. Sure. We downloaded the free trial, logged in, and entered the world, and I lost my mind.
Okay.
I lost my mind. Do you watch anime? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, so to be fair, like I say that and someone's be like, well, Brian, let's test his anime.
No. It's okay. My chat says I'm the worst weeb ever. So
I didn't know that was an insult. I was like, all right, I didn't know what that was. And then like Asmongold's off, like da-da-da. And I was like, I look it up. I'm like, all right, like whatever.
Wear that weeb badge with pride.
Like, whatever. So When I say that I like anime, I do. Like I like Death Note. I think for me is one of the most recent animes that were just like, mwah. I mean, just so
good
on so many levels. I'm like, who are these writers? They are blowing my mind. But
so good.
That being said, I don't technically watch a lot of television. I don't know if you're like this. I don't know how you run your household, but I feel like as we've had, I'm working on building my own raid team, by the way. But
I noticed.
Yeah, as we have there's less time, people are like, how do you do it? It's like, well, I don't really watch television. Like Julie and I might watch a show, and she typically sets this is what we're gonna watch. And there's occasionally that I dive into a show that I consume, and it's just like I might watch 2 or 3 shows a year. It's just like if you're like, Brian, you've got free time, I'm gonna go play a video game. That is something that I do that I relax with. And so occasionally though, especially I like to sometimes dive into it. And I think that stems from a lot of shows coming out really being interesting and getting canceled after one season. So I don't know if that annoys anybody out there. So I'm always like, you tell me when you're ready, because I'm not going to get my heart broken here, No. But so when I say true. I watch anime, I love it. I consume it, but it has to get slotted into 1 or 2. There's not a lot of room that I find time to watch television in. Maybe I will at some point, but we'll see. Anyway, So do you watch anime?
Okay. So this is what happened when we logged into 14. I looked at because we sit next to each other. We've got his and her PC setups. Okay. I looked at my husband and I was like, babe, this is Log Horizon. I was like, this is Log Horizon. And that's my favorite anime. Okay. It's an anime where they play an MMO and they get trapped in that MMO. So they have to learn how to operate within that world because they're stuck in it in their characters. And everything was they've got cat people. They've got all these different classes and jobs. I was like, babe, this is Log Horizon. I started losing my mind about running around. And I felt I was hooked. That was it. I was so in. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I never knew Final Fantasy XIV existed. Somehow it never came in my radar. And I guess that's because I wasn't in that Final Fantasy world. So that news just never reached me.
Gotcha.
I was in WoW world. I was paying attention to, World of Warcraft patch updates.
It just makes me think of Water World for some reason.
Right. WoW World.
I was in WoW World.
So, and WoW was good. I liked WoW. I loved the world, the stories, the characters. I mean, I read the books. I watched videos. I sank deep into that lore. I just didn't feel it in the game.
Would you ever go back?
If I didn't have 14, I would. If I didn't have 14, I would definitely be playing WoW. Final Fantasy 14 gave me what I never felt in WoW, which was I felt the story in the game.
Okay.
WoW, I felt the story in its novels, its theory videos, the history when you go do research about where the characters came from, the old gods. That is sprinkled in the game, I feel. And it's nice, but you don't get it. You don't get it to you. But in Final Fantasy 14, you're in the world and you get I play the game to get more information about Eorzea and the world and its characters. I went to YouTube to get more information about WoW and its world. Okay. You know what I mean? See, that was my different experience.
And there's it's all in how it delivers the exposition, how you end up enjoying the different stories. So, absolutely.
I would be hyped with Blizzard's amazing videos. They can put out a hype video nobody else. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're bringing back so-and-so and look at that character. Oh, this is going to be so good. And then you get in game and it just wouldn't deliver the same.
Right.
Even though the hype and everything was so beautiful and these videos they put together are amazing. And this character has a lot of deep, rich history in the, I know what's going on. But just playing it didn't come across. But when I got in Final Fantasy 14, that was different. I was in everything. I was so used to going to YouTube that I would actually try to find more information outside of the game. And then finally I just realized I was like, there's no point in doing this. That's not how this works.
Yeah, exactly. I hope that you really enjoyed that highlight, and I hope that you check out the full podcast. Again, link is in the description. Thanks for being here, and I hope you have a fantastic day, you wonderful, beautiful individual.